welcome back to Trash It. There's no need to me introducing this crew because obviously they're part and parcel of Trash It by now. But I would say a big shout out to my beautiful Celia, Talia. I'm a very handsome Jagbajantis and Jude. Welcome to the show. Now, today, what we're going to be talking about is very kind of hurts everyone on this planet. Actually, not just on this planet, anyone that claims to be Nigerian, whether you have the passport or not. This is a sore subject for us. And it's the whole thing around End SARS. To bring it into context for you, people have linked End SARS with the fight around Black Lives Matter. But the unfortunate dichotomy about this is that with police brutality in America is geared towards race. This is just our people killing our people. Police brutality. So I'm going to go straight to Jude first and foremost, because I know you are eager to talk about this. Not more eager than any one of us, but this is not a new phenomenon. SARS is not new. So what's your take on this?
It's not a new thing. I think it's the whole, Nigeria got their independence in 1960. Before then, the British colonial masters had to use indigents as police to enforce laws. And prior to that, there were guys who like helped the British government to kind of kidnap fellow indigents and then shipped out as people who became enslaved. So it was always about enforcement, and the enforcement wasn't like civil enforcement, it was forceful enforcement. So that aspect of enforcement from the colonial times just metamorphosed into what we call the Nigerian police force. Our first IG of police, I don't know if it was IG they called them at the time, it was a white person before he finally became an indigenous police officer. So the kind of enforcement we had then was, in its name, forceful. It was never civil. So it was brutal. So we've moved from that time to now. And in the Nigerian system, you can see the way everything is. There's no planning, there's no continuation. Of course, during the British time, there was some sort of supplement for the police officers at the time. But subsequently, their welfare just went down. Nobody cared for them. These police officers, we expected them to protect lives and protect properties from destruction and enforce laws. But they weren't doing any of this. They weren't paid. So they resorted to bribery and corruption. As their welfare went down, bribery and corruption went up. So they just resorted to so many ways to make money. And some of that became brutality. And it was the ordinary person on the street who was at the receiving end of the brutality, as opposed to the big man. So the way the police formed all the time was big man using the police to protect themselves from the small man, even from the British colonial times. It was metamorphosed into that. The big man continued to use the police as a stick to hammer the poor man on the street. So that's what has led to everything we have now.
Okay, thank you for that, because obviously that ties into how enforcing things came about. But I'm going to go to you, Celia. One can say SARS is a special anti-robbery protection squad. We need them. Nigeria is not a safe place. So why not we keep them?
If something is proven not to work countless number of times, then I think maybe it needs to be disbanded, and then it needs to be looked into properly. First of all, why do we need SARS to special and anti-robbery, whatever it is? Why do we need that? Well, we have a police force. If our police force does what it's meant to do, then we don't need SARS. Okay, and the thing is, it's evident that these SARS officers, they haven't received the right level of training to be able to carry out this civil responsibility in a way that it profits the citizens that they're meant to be looking after. So when you watch videos on social media of how they go about stopping people, harassing people, it just begs the question that, are these people, do they no longer know the reason why they're out there? Because if they did, number one, they will realize that, okay, a Nigerian citizen having a laptop, carrying his laptop back, perhaps with his laptop in it, is not an excuse for you to stop him, search him, and start rough handling him. Someone owning an iPhone or someone driving a good car Nigeria is civilized, okay? No matter what we're going to say, yes, there's poverty. There's poverty in that country, yes, we know. But Nigeria is a very, very civilized country. When it comes to data, when it comes to internet, when it comes to, being out there, we have it. Regardless of how bad we see Nigeria, we're there. We have it. Do you understand? We're very open. So yes, a lot of Nigeria have luxury items like phones, luxury cars. Okay, they have relatives that are abroad. Some of them go abroad, come back home and settle and set up businesses. So you don't expect these people to be carrying a Nokia 3610 phone, for example. So of course they're going to show their wealth. And Nigerians, we're very good at being very flamboyant. Okay, we show our wealth. So now I'm thinking, if I go to Nigeria and maybe I'm driving in the car with my younger brother and I have my iPhone and my brother, maybe I bought him a phone. So now there's a possibility that we can be stopped and we can be harassed by SARS officers. Do you understand? So for me, it's really scary and it's sad that this is what we are protesting against. Whereas we could have been protesting for other things, like the government that is stealing our money. But now we are spending this time protesting SARS, which in itself, it's painful. It is.
Thank you for that, Celia. We're going to talk about the protests, but I'm going to go to Jagwajantis before I come to Talia. You run a very successful blog. And if there's anything, you're always posting where there's injustice on your blog. One could argue as Nigerians, with the lack of better knowledge, we cannot, and I'm very careful when I say this, force sometimes is needed to enforce law. So when this outfit was created, it was created for a reason. And as Celia and as Judas mentioned, it does not befit the purpose that he's sort of created for. So as a Nigerian, as a businessman, as someone that travels a lot to Nigeria, where did we go wrong with SARS?
Well, the point where they started grooming them, bringing them together to prepare them for the outside world, that's where they got it wrong. They don't have the right tactical training. They don't have the right customer service part of the training, and they don't have the right communication skills. Every part of the world, they have SARS. In America, they have SWAT team. In UK, they have the tactical response group. Anytime things go out of control, these are the people you see. They will just arrive. You don't see them on the streets. They don't just come out. They only come out when there is need for them. If there is a terror attack, if somebody is going loopy, that is when they come out to arrest the situation. That was the initial reason for creating SARS. Now, their welfare, like Jude said, has nosedived. A lot of things have gone wrong. If you go to police barrack, it looks like where they sentence people to death. But you prefer to live in a horse barn than living in a police barrack. It is abject poverty. Now, those people are idle. There is nothing for them to do. The only thing they do now, get one doubtful driver. Come on here, shut up. Oh yeah, drive. They will drive them through and they will start picking people up, harass people, collect their phones and stuff. Some they will take you to the cash machine. Oh yeah, put your pin. Withdraw 100,000. Oh yeah, waka. So we need them. Not that we don't need them, but they have gone out of control.
Yeah.
And now I don't think erasing them totally is the right way, but they need to be educated. I was in police college Ikeja when I was serving way back. That was when Tinubu was a governor. And as we were in the police college, as an NYC official, they were doing Egede. They were doing Eye. They had all the confraternity among them. These were boys in police college. They haven't been through university. You know, you have people who do special training. They come at university level. They do 6 months training. No, these guys were in police college. In that police college, they have different cultism. They were doing Egede, and they had Mami markets. There is one of them was selling weed to the others, and the other police officers were buying and smoking weed. Unfortunately, the Nokia that I was using them did not have camera. So if it was somewhere like today, I would have recorded it. Now, imagine those kind of people wearing uniform after graduation from police college, carrying AK-47 on the road. What do you want them to do? A common SIA security here has communication skills.
Mm.
Something called conflict management. They have it. They talk to you with respect. If a police officer disrespects you in Lagos, you will regret being in Nigeria.
Yeah.
So a lot is wrong. They just need to go back to the reformation of police college and start from there, the police academy. The right people as lecturers, their HODs, their vice chancellor or whatever they call them, commissioner. They need to change all of them. They need proper education.
Okay. Thank you for that, Jagwajansis. Talia, there are protests going about everywhere from Nigeria to America to the United Kingdom up to Australia. One can argue the five of us on this panel were not directly affected by SARS, being that we don't live in the country. What exactly is your problem? They could say, why are we not letting Nigeria deal with their problem? But we have family back home. So I'm going to ask you, as a Nigerian, as someone that probably still has family back home, and you know the injustice that goes on within the police force, the SARS, there's nothing that works in that country. Why are you bothered about things like this?
Well, yeah, you're right when you say it doesn't affect me directly, but it does to an extent, because I will go back to Nigeria. Maybe it's for holiday, it's to visit family, or maybe eventually to settle, who knows? So I will definitely come across this issue at some point in my life, you know, and it's so sad that you cannot feel safe in your country. Not only are you worried about, you know, normal armed robbers, you're now worried about the people that are supposed to be fighting these armed robbers. You know, it's a scary thought to think that you're not safe in your country. You know, there's nobody, especially in fairness, it affects us the most. We that are going from abroad to Nigeria, because we don't have the same, you know, the same stamina that they have back home to deal with this. You literally come out of the airport and they know that this one's just
landed.
So you are fresh. You are the main target for these people when they want to go. Like I was saying to my husband this afternoon, I was like, well, they may not necessarily harass you because they think like, oh, you just come from abroad, but trust me, you're their target. They're like, okay, what have you been doing back home? What are you doing? They know that they can get money from you. It's just sad that, like Mr. Jampanjantis said, we really need to reform our force. I have to agree with him to say that I don't necessarily think ending SARS is the problem.
Okay.
I think a reformation is what needs to happen. I think they're supposed to be there to fight robbers. They shouldn't be on the streets. You know, they're supposed to be like a special CID force, a unit in the force. Why are you on the street? So clearly there's some lack of training or lack of awareness of
understanding of their role.
Their role, exactly. So I think that reformation is needed more than saying, because now we've said NSAS. Where are these boys or these men, or you know, where are they gonna get their bread and butter from? These people might as well go and get gun and be the robbers that they're supposed to be fighting against. So I think a reformation will be smarter than saying let's enter. I mean, it's a good idea. I love the idea that finally Nigerians have stood up to fight for a cause. And that, in fact, that alone, I'm so happy for that. It shows that we can do it, and we can do it. So I think let's work on reforming.
That's very good, because right now it's not just the process from you and I. We've got celebrities, right from all the celebrities in Nigeria. We've got Didi, we've got Burna Boy, we've got Cardi B. Everybody's sort of fighting or championing the right. But you said something, Talia, and I will go to Jude for this. You said reform SARS. Now, news reaching us is that SARS has sort of been dissolved. But I'm going to read something to you. In 2015, we asked for SARS to be reformed, and they said they will. In 2016, restructure was supposed to happen for this same SARS. In 2017, reorganization. In 2018, we went back to reform. In 2019, we called for SARS to be disbanded. And in 2020, they're saying they've been dissolved. We don't believe anything the Nigerian government tells us. Jude, we've got an octogenarian that is on life machine running our country. He has not come out to speak to us. For every issue that you have in any country, you turn to your leaders. Our leaders have failed us. How do we go from here? Our youth are not ready to rule. We've not been equipped academically in all spheres. Like, see something, we're champions everywhere. You put a Nigerian in a situation that works, and that Nigerian will churn out the best for you. So Jude, let's go to our government. Every police force that comes, they're meant to be impartial, but our own police force is always partial to the party that is on ground. How can you reform a tool or an institution that is meant to do your wicked deed for you?
I think it comes down to the question of how they were set up. If I quickly go back to the American ones, I said it before in one of our shows. The American police came as a metamorphosis from the slave catchers, the so-called slave catchers. They had nothing else to do. So they continued catching black people and killing black people. It's the same with Nigerian police force. It started from the colonial times. It was to protect the big man from the small man. So when we became the Nigerian police force and started wearing the blue and black uniform, or the black and black, as it were, or the green and light green as Mopo, we continued protecting the big man. And again, Nigeria is not a society. We must not kid ourselves. Forget about whether we flash big phones and laptops and what have you. We're not a society. What is a society? Society is something that works. We don't have running water. We don't have light. We don't have healthcare. We're not a society at all. That's why I believe that we can really do things. That's why I believe in reformation. But to reform the police is going to take a gargantuan task, because we've got the structure where we have an IG of police who sits in Abuja, has no clue, is a body of whoever the president is. He doesn't know what's happening in Ughelli. He sits there and gives orders. I tell you, this so-called disbandment of SARS, there are going to be SARS officers who would say, forget that man, who they talk to. Let him talk to the kid if we don't wipe him out. You're not going to listen to him. There'll still be pockets of SARS people out there. So when you talk about what should we be doing as government, you see, our relationship as citizens of Nigeria towards our government is not transactional at all. We have no connect. Those guys are just in there managing the resources for bigger companies like Shell, bigger companies like Julius Berger, bigger companies like Shell, BP, and all of them. And for all this government, they're just managing Nigerian resources for America, France, Germany, and the others, and Britain. That's what they're doing. They're managers of resources. That's what they were meant to do. That's what they put them for. People forget that Nigeria was formerly owned by companies. The Niger Delta, what do they call them?
Corporation, I think.
Never Brothers. Never Brothers.
The East India Corporation. These were all slave masters. They ran Nigeria like a corporation. When they wanted to leave, they still own Nigeria. They just put people there, manage these resources. That's why it appears to me and you who have kind of some sanity that nothing is moving, because they're actually there to manage the resources, put the rest of us at bay. And having said that, though, you cannot just put all the blame on Buhari. We've got three arms of government: the legislative arm, the judiciary. They're equally useless and stupid. They put idiots there, complete imbeciles in that place, and you expect them to do what? It's to continue the same process. The police will always listen to the person who is the leader at the time, because that's where their budget comes from. The police don't have a clue. They don't even know their duties. They don't know that they're meant to be enforcing civil laws. They are the ones that are supposed to be upholding the nation on their shoulders. They're the ones that are supposed to be chasing Boko Haram, not even the army. You don't send army against terrorists. Exactly. In your country, the army don't come out. The army goes out for war. In your country, the police are the one doing the investigation and sending their crack teams. So teams like SARS and other crack teams they have should be chasing the people killing people in Kaduna, chasing the people killing people in the northeast of Nigeria. They don't even know what they're doing. So when you don't know what you're meant to do, what then do? You start targeting the ones that are powerless. And again, Mr. Jagbajanchi touched on something very important. I like to say that I met Ribadu one time, the former EFCC chair, and I told him, I don't know if you remember, I said, look, you're the reason we have kidnappers in Nigeria. And he asked me why. I said, you created a vacuum when you stopped the Yahoo boys from doing fraud. All those sophisticated boys with their sophisticated intelligence in doing fraud, in committing fraud, where did you think they used that? They went with that expertise. Only a few of them came abroad. The rest remained there. They started using that network to kidnap. I said, you caused it. Then Obasanjo is the reason we have this whole SARS business and the Yahoo boys and the courtists in the police. Don't forget Obasanjo disbanded courts in universities. Where did you think those boys went to? At the same time, the police was recruiting. The police recruited every one of them. That's why you see those guys looking at us. So they're already drug addicts. They're court boys. They're used to shooting guns and killing Nigerians like them. Free willy, wearing blue berets, green berets, red beret, black beret, pink beret, all of that. He's just mentioned some of the signs. Nigerian army, you see that they give all the signs of secret courts. And we know this. And the hierarchy know this, but they're not challenging them. So that's the reason why we have these boys. If they're used to killing for free in the unit, you think
and
because
you're not paying them,
they wear a uniform, they put SARS, they would start respect the next human being? No. And when we check it that way, we need to check why people like Dino Melaye should have a police escort, why Davido should have a police escort, why Bonobo should have a police escort.
I'm going to come to that. Jude, I'm going to come to that, but I want to go to Celia because you kind of moved in slightly into what I want to talk about, which is around the recruitment process. Now, Celia, Jude mentioned something. We've got, allegedly, we've got cultists, we've got those that don't have jobs, we've got everyone now working in a security outfit for our country. How do we then desensitize the situation? Because the people recruiting, they're just, how much is their salary? Does anyone know? It's not a lot. I don't think they've been paid in the last 7 months. So you can say that we have moved unemployed, lazy, and drug addicts into a security outfit, and we've given them a gun. So I come to you, Celia. How do we reform, starting from recruitment? Because that is key. How do we get the right brains to come on? Because the people running this, I don't want to say they're educated, illiterate, or they're not educated.
Mm-hmm. So the thing is, how do you train someone the skills that you yourself do not have? Okay, so if the people who are meant to be training these new recruits do not have the skills, because don't forget, those people who are now put in the position to train these new recruits, they were formerly new recruits and they didn't get the right training. So this is a vicious circle. From where I'm standing, from how I see things, it's a vicious circle. So if these people that are meant to train are not getting the right training, it's just like you go to university and your lecturer does not know anything. And then the lecturer sets an exam for you. You are not going to learn anything from that class because you haven't gotten the right knowledge from your lecturer because the lecturer don't know it. So at the end of the day, it needs to start from the top. Okay, it needs to start from the top. Do they really know, if they're going to say, okay, we want the SARS unit to be out, do they know the role? What is that SARS unit from? How do you differentiate that SARS unit from the police unit? Okay, what sort of training do they need that is pertinent to their role? Because at the end of the day, as someone rightly said, I don't see the reason why we need SARS when we have police officers. Police officers are already mounting roadblock, harassing people, collecting bribe, and then we have SARS on top of that. So there's a possibility that somebody that has just driven 5 minutes from their house has encountered one police roadblock. 10 minutes later, they encounter another SARS roadblock. So what? So you've got two different institutions doing the same thing. Right. So they need to know the reason why they're there. And when you look, you will realize that SARS is not needed on the road. Okay, SARS is not needed on the road. SARS should be needed for covert affairs. For example, a few months back, there was a house or a den where all these Chinese people were with mobile phones and they are doing all these 419 things. Those are the kind of places I believe SARS should be operating. Okay, when they get a tip off, they go obviously they would have received the right training. They go and they approach those people and they do what they need to do, not stopping citizens on the road and harassing citizens on the road to say, why are you holding a mobile phone? No. So this thing needs to start from the top. If they need to bring experts in, okay, if they need to bring experts in, let them invest the money on that. If they need expert training, let them invest the money on that. So that when they train the top can then filter that training down to the new recruits. That's how I see it too. But the thing is, as we know, Nigeria is a country, there is no law and order. Do you understand? And the thing is, for me, I just feel everybody that holds any form of authority in that country, from President Buhari, the Senate, even the Osibanjo, all the lot, they need to be removed from office. They need to be removed from office for that country to really see the turnaround that the citizens want. Those people need to be removed from office because those people are the problems. You have dinosaurs ruling us. They know nothing about how the world has evolved, because it's either they're so archaic, they don't want to change their mentality, or because of their religious beliefs, they don't want to hear it, they don't want to change it. Do you understand? So I think for Nigeria to really get the reform it needs, all those people need to be removed from office. Dilo Menaye, whatever his name is, the lot of them, they do not have the right qualification to be in that office in the first place. For you to be the president of a country, you need a certain type of qualification to attain it. It's not just by how old you are. It's not just by how old you are. So for me, I don't think those people in power in Nigeria right now, they need to be removed, and they need to bring in the youths. They need to bring...
I don't agree with that.
Okay.
I don't agree with that.
Okay.
Jude, come in. Yeah, you
I
don't
don't agree with that, because which youth are they bringing in? This one saying NSAS. This NSAS.
No, I'm not saying those. When I say the youths, Jude, and what I'm trying to, for me, when I say the youth, I use the word very loosely. Anybody above the age of 65 should not be ruling Nigeria.
I get it, but we cannot do that, because we're not even prepared. The people below those age, they're not even prepared. Look at Dino Melaye, he's below that age. Look at Senator Abo, he's below that age. Tinubu was once below that age.
Those people don't need, that's what I'm saying. Those people don't need to be on seat anymore. We've seen what they can do, and they can't do shit.
These are people in that age group, so they won't even make anything.
We have other people, Jude, there are other people in that age group that are itching to rule something in Nigeria, but they can't because they are not in that caucus. They are not in the cycle.
They are sure they've not proven themselves anywhere useful to the nation. That's the
problem. They prove themselves when they haven't been given the opportunity to.
No, boys are proving themselves. Boys are proving themselves in Nigeria. In the Nollywood industry, people are doing good stuff. The amateurs, the jockeys, the
Jude, I kind of understand where you're coming from, but we will come to that. But I want to shift gear now, and I want Talia and Jabadantis to feed into this. But before you guys feed into it, Anambra SARS, there's a place they call Wakuze. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it very well. They call it Wakuze, AWKUZU, SARS. And apparently, they just pick up people and take them to this space. And you know what happened? They have a charge and bail lawyer where they send parents of suspects to.
Right.
And they just go into a cohort with these people, and you pay to these people before your family member is released. So to both of you, our human rights, do you see where we have a main issue? Because it's not just SARS or the police that appears to be corrupt now. We probably now have an arm under the Nigeria Bar Association that is encouraging this nonsense. And in a normal and sane society, if I get arrested now, I would have to employ the services of a lawyer. But if the lawyer is already in business with the police, what is my chance as an average Nigerian does not have a godfather? I go to Talia and Jabajantis for that.
As Jude and Celia were going back and forth, something kept on ringing in my head, and it's corruption. Corruption. Our biggest problem in Nigeria is corruption. It's not really the age of these people, Celia, because you know what, there are some people that are even younger that are even worse than these people. What our country, what we're suffering from is greed. Everybody wants to enrich themselves. And that's the reason why it's not that these men, the likes of Dino Melaye and the rest of them, they know exactly what to do. They know exactly what will be beneficial to the country. They know exactly the right steps to take. But all they want to do at the moment is enrich themselves. Why? Because people before them, that's all they've done. People after them, that's all they would do. We're saying, oh, let the youth come. At the end of the day, there's wealth in Nigeria. Nigeria was so wealthy, but everybody is so greedy that all they think about is themselves. At the end of the day, even if things change, my fear with Nigeria is that even if we get a new set of people, I feel like the same cycle will happen again because of greed. Greed is the biggest thing. Even when they award contracts to states, the things are not done properly. They get a portion of they use a portion of the money for the equipment that's needed. They buy the most ridiculous quality of products to use for that contract, and the rest of them goes where? They split it amongst themselves. So that's the problem that we have. It's not that they don't know that SARS, should be in the office. These poor men are not even being paid properly. So at the end of the day, where are they going to get their money from? It's from the so-called Yahoo boys, and the ones that are hustling, that are trying to even live above waters themselves. So this, unfortunately for Enugu, was it Enugu you mentioned?
Anambra.
Unfortunately for them, the bar system, they have to, everybody needs to eat. There's no money, Nigeria. There's money. The money is only with the people that are rich, and that's the people in government. And that's the reason why this vicious cycle continues. So yes, there will be corruption everywhere. Corruption.
Okay. Can I just quickly say something, Yuri? Sorry, just to what Talia said. Yes, I understand that, and you're right. Yes, the generation before ate, the one now is eating, and the one after would eat. But for me, I have hope, faith in the youth citizens of Nigeria, okay? And I believe that corruption is never going to really leave Nigeria, okay? And from what we can see now, the leaders at the moment, they are such that they are eating, but they don't care about whether other people will eat. I'm not saying that when the youth come in, or when people that are not this old, when they come in, all of a sudden corruption is going to stop. No, because we are just human beings. And when we know that, we have all this money at our disposal, we are definitely going to want to keep for ourselves. But in the process of doing that, also think of other people. And this is why I said I have faith and confidence in when other sets of people in the youths, that when they come in, yes, they know that we know that they will embezzle, they would eat. But I think that they would do things. I think they would do better than the government or than the Senate we have in power right now. I think they would think of how they felt when this current administration was on, and how nothing was filtered down to the layman. And I think, and I'm hoping that they will use that sort of conscience to say, okay, yes, I feel embezzle 5 million, but let me give 2 million to these people. Do you understand? That's what I'm hoping. And that's what the current administration is not doing, because we can never really eradicate corruption or embezzlement in Nigeria.
Thank you for that, Celia. Jabajantis, you heard what Celia said. She has hope. But I've just told you how decay the law society. I don't want to say the whole Nigeria Bar Association, but a fraction. These are the people that are meant to be custodians of our law. How they're in cahoots with the police and just putting people in prison for no reason. But once you pay a certain amount of money, you can go home. Do you really think there's hope for us as Nigerians?
You know, man, I'm an advocate of this hope thing. The way I believed in Nigeria before, it was so strong. I was so passionate. Even till now, I'm still always promoting Nigeria, this, Nigeria, that. But with the kind of youth we have, my hope is shaking. You know, even if you and I, or 5 of us, if we move to Nigeria now and start something positive, the same people you are fighting for are the ones that will orchestrate our death. Because if you're Nigerians are hard to fight for. You're fighting for them, you have to use one hand, because the second hand is what you will use to defend yourself, because the people you're fighting for, some of them will be attacking you from the back, because you are stopping their meal, their dodgy meal that they've been so used to, you know. So that Nigeria is going to change. It's going to take some special forces. I'm not the type that will say grace of God, grace of God. It's not going to be by grace of God. It's going to be by ourselves. But the thing is, the youth that we have today, what kind of orientation do they have? Are they going to let it happen so easy? Are they going to vote for the right person tomorrow morning? No.
Right person. It's not right person.
Well, the people of Edo State started. They voted for the right person. So let's hope.
No.
Take a lead.
It's a recycle. It's a recycle. What happened in Edo State?
Described as
well, perhaps it's the best.
Hold on. Let's hear what Jabadanti. Then we'll go to Judah and go to Celia.
The man you vote today in PDP will be your enemy tomorrow in APC. It's the same people. They're just shoveling the table round. If you think because this person is in PDP today and is not with Tinubu, tomorrow he will be with Tinubu. The person that is with Tinubu today will be against Tinubu tomorrow, just to win your heart. So Nigerian politics is like pizza. Take your own, pass it around. Take your own, pass it around. So look at Akala. Akala was in this camp before. That last election, they gave Akala money. Akala moved to another camp and he said, okay, I'm giving up my governorship interest. Let somebody else go and contest. So in Nigeria, if you are supporting PDP today, it doesn't mean that they are the best. Though. That PDP person you're supporting today will be in APC tomorrow. So this generation too, they are the thorns. I don't know.
I will move to Jude, but I think with Akala, there must have been some strategic reasons because he felt he could do more by letting someone younger run. And that was his thought behind it. But that's for another topic for us to go into. I'll go to Jude. Jude, you were going to say something. You said Obaseki is not the right person for Edo State.
I'm just saying there's no right person. That Celia checked me and said Obaseki.
Yeah, that's my argument.
There's no right person. It was a choice between Obaseki and what's his name, Pastor Isaiah Yamu. That was why they made their decision loud and clear. And they felt, and don't forget, it's emotional politics. They felt that Obaseki was done wrong by the APC not giving him the nomination. This is how Nigerians vote. What I was going to say was this: one, we're a very unruly people. Anyone can argue against that. We're a very unruly bunch. We don't respect any laws as a people, as Nigerians. That's fact. Thirdly, we don't even know the act of governance. We don't know what governance is. We absolutely we don't know what governance is or what it looks like. We don't know. They don't teach us in school anyway. We don't know what governance is. We don't know what the separation of powers are. We don't even know what our roles are in the society as citizens. There's no transactional relationship, no social contract between us and those we've elected. Everybody's just come chop, let's go. It's management of resources. If we knew these first things in the first place, everyone will know where they belong. The police will know their role. The police don't know their role. The military boys come out on the streets and beat the policeman. The police don't know he has more power than the soldier. More powers than soldier, but he doesn't even know. So we are a very unruly bunch. We don't understand governance. Corruption is endemic in the society. That's for fact. But it will continue because look at the set of people who've been. If you know the history of Nigeria, our first ever Speaker of House of Rep was a born criminal they chased out of America. And they talk, first Speaker of Rep, go type on. Every Nigerian political holder has always been a thief, recycled
criminal,
common criminal from abroad. You'll come steal. We need a reorientation and even killing of people, bloodletting. Exactly what this guy did in Ghana. What he did in Ghana, Jerry Rawlings. What he saw in Ghana was what we're witnessing in Nigeria. And he said, no, this will not happen. I need to wipe out. There needs to be bloodletting. There's time for blood. That's what Nigeria needs. These people need to die. People need to be killed. And 1966 would have checked that for us. The young Major Kaduna Nziogu, may so rest in peace. That guy, very intelligent guy, he made a big mistake. Not his fault, because people he killed mostly were from the northerners, from the northern side. Don't forget, the British left them in power to continue to manage the resources that is Nigeria. So when he came and said, I want to check this thing out, he killed all of them. Most of them died, were northerners. So he didn't want power for himself. He killed a few Igbo here and there. But the northerners felt, oh my God, this is against us. That's how the Biafra started. They started targeting the people from East. If Kaduna Nziogu had gone on with his plan, Nigeria would have moved forward. Nigeria is still a clique, it's a cartel. It's the Fulanis running the issue. We must not shy away from that fact. The Fulanis have nothing better to offer any nation they ever rule. Whether it be in Gambia, whether it be in Sudan, whether it be in Mali or Niger, they squander wealth and they spend extravagantly money that they don't know. They don't even know the act of governance, the single act of governance. They don't know. And the Yorubas, they have their own problems. They have their own betrayal amongst themselves. They are backstabbed to not let them move. They are thieves, equally thieves as well. People call Awolowo a hero. Awolowo was equally a thief. He stole for his own personal interest. He protected his family. Awolowo did that. Obasanjo is doing that. Obasanjo did it.
Everybody's doing it.
Abiola became rich from government contracts. So what are we talking about? Nigerian police will not be reformed until we change the whole system totally. Maybe representative government will do. But then again, the citizens need to know their role within the society. We don't know that.
And their rights.
It's just Johnny Bandwagon to answers. Come to think of it, are they not really criminals and Yahoo boys? Why you they carry laptop follow streets? Or you they sell laptop? Money. I use 2 laptops. I don't carry my laptop every day. You they sell laptop? You know they work. You don't get source of you don't get source of income. Where you they carry iPhone? Where you see them? You be thief. You be Yahoo boy, you be criminal. But that not give the SARS the right to do what they do. But the truth has to be told.
Let's break this down a bit, because the thing about it is, for anyone that knows me, I've got tattoos. And I shouldn't be judged just because I've got body acts.
Of course,
we've seen instances where SARS have actually killed someone because they've got a tattoo.
Of course, even locks. People told me not to come Nigeria
And
with my locks
dreadlocks.
and my earrings. Of course, I know that.
Oh, my question to all of you is that the problem with SARS happens only, if my memory serves me, only happens in the South. We don't have this in the North. So,
Okay.
Celia, what is the problem? Why is it that it's only in the South? Do you think at this point Nigeria then should then divide? Or are there mercenaries that are being used to just do stuff in the South while the North is allowed to live in peace?
Have you ever heard of where your dad, your father's, the best child or your father's pet will be beaten when your father is at home? No. It can work. It doesn't happen. When your father is at home and you're your father's pet, no, nobody can touch him. Nobody can touch you. But then the other children can be beaten mercilessly. This is that situation. Buhari is their father and he's at home for them. I beg. Jude, you've said it all. Upon all what the Fulanis did, what all those people did in Kaduna, killing, going into churches, killing Christians, all the headsmen, what they're doing, what did Buhari say? He didn't say anything. So why would he beat his children? Why would he send SARS to go and be harassing his children? He won't. So at the end of the day, it's we that the autistic children of Nigeria, the South and the rest of us, according to Mr. Jabadantis the other day, we are the rest that, yes, we can be harassed. So that's the situation we find ourselves, and that's where we're in. Do you understand? And I like the fact that, Jude, when you said what you said, that, okay, why are these guys carrying laptops up and down? And then you said, however, that's not the reason why SARS should be harassing them. Because at the end of the day, man must work. Man must work. So, like here, for example, in the United Kingdom, you can finish your training, you finish university, and at least within the next 3 months, except say not be you want work, you will get some form of employment. But in Nigeria, it's not like that. Some of these boys that are carrying laptop and iPhone up and down doing Yahoo, they are all graduates. They've graduated. Even though it must have taken them 10 years to finish a course of 3 years because of the nonsense educational system in Nigeria, but they have graduated, but there's no job. So before you know it, by the time those people graduate from university, they are old. They are in their late 30s, early 40s, and they need to start a life. They never born, they never marry. So for them to be able to do that, they need to make money somehow. I'm not condoning what they're doing, because obviously I'm sure they can do something else, I don't know. But what else except menial labor? What else except menial labor that's not going to give them the amount of money that they want? Don't forget, Nigeria is a country where everybody wants to blow. Everybody wants to blow. Nobody wants to be seen as lagging behind. No. Do you understand? So at the end of the day, there's no job. Man must work. What do you expect these guys to do?
It's not just Nigerians who want to blow. If you look at the structure of Nigeria and the historical facts of Nigeria, the South has always been very, very unruly. That's why the British never left power with them. The British people saw already, and Mr. Jabodatis, check me out if I'm not correct. They saw already an aristocratic kind of feudal society with the emirs and all of those sultans. They already had a structure.
They were loyal.
So that the Northerners were highly, highly, highly conservative. Their morals were highly. No armed robbers on the street. Why all of this was rampant in the South? We were so fetish in the South, killing ourselves, voodooism, all of that, criminal activities. Corruption was so rife in the Southern Nigeria when the North was highly conservative. They didn't even record one act of corruption. Trust me. Azikiwe went to school in the North. Most of the top sultanas who ended up ruling Nigeria, they went to school in the North. The North was that structured and conservative. It was only later, Babangida was the one who legalized corruption in the North. Up to that time, the Northerners were not really... Tafawa Balewa lived in a hut. When that man, a whole prime minister of Nigeria, went on holidays, he went back to his mother's hut and would sit on the floor. That's Tafawa Balewa for you. Our first prime minister, when he spoke with intellect. Babangida was the one who came and said, Haba, money day, yo. That's where the thievery started. That's why the Northerners started to steal. And you can still see in the North, this trickle-down corruption they do, it don't trickle down to the people because the people are not caught up like that. It's only in the South. You see a Dino Melaya, a stupid person like that, come out and they say, Babake, you see Tinubu, Babake. Only the Southerners will do that. In the North, till tomorrow, am I lying? Check me. If Nasser Rufai try himself, they will stone him on the street. Am I lying, Mr. Jabodatis?
It's true.
They throw them stones because they detest these things, not because of religion. Look at the South. Look at all the pastors we have. All criminals. They steal blindly and they walk freely. We condone these things in the South. We are happy about it. We are second. How many Yahoo boys you don't see will be Northerners? And the Northern boys, they move weight. The kind of weight they move. The Southerners will never compete. They move weight. They are so rich, absolutely loaded. They're not coming out to show you our wealth. We, any small change, we're out there. I'm drinking Ciroc. Meanwhile, the Northern at the same age is moving private jets. So you can see why the SARS are not in
But Jude, that private jet, where do they get the money from though? Is it not Nigeria's money?
You heard me say they move weight.
Okay.
They move weight.
Yeah, they move weight. We just do the little Yahoo, but those people move weight. The kind of weight they move, even SARS will not be even able to investigate it. It's bigger than them. So
I am mindful of our time, so I will move in nicely to our final question. Unless there's anything anyone wants to share. If there's a name that we all need to remember among scores of names in these few weeks, is a guy called Isaac Jimo, a young man that was shot dead in Ogumosho during the protest of End SARS. So, Jagbajantis, Talia, Jude, Celia, why is it that we feel it's okay for a celebrity and anybody that's got little change in their pocket to pick up a mobile police officer and go about with escorts? We live in the United Kingdom. We don't see anybody. We have rich people. Alan Sugar is very rich. We don't see him and there's Metropolitan Police going in front saying, oh, blow siren, open door, move away. And these are people that actually have money.
Not even the Queen. I've seen the Queen twice. No siren, nothing. Only one car.
Yeah, so Jawadantis, why? Is there a problem with us as Nigerians with the way we live, our attitude? Don't you think we need to check ourselves before we start checking End SARS?
Absolutely.
So, to answer the question, so that other people too can talk, we have a damaged society. It's a fractured society, and it's not getting healed. It's just getting worse. If a celebrity drives alone from Woolwich to North Greenwich, chances are they will kidnap him 3 times before he gets there. Yes. If they kidnap him and they release him, another person will kidnap him. And they will kidnap him. And then they will start telling all of us, you and I, please donate, contribute money for so to be released from the hand of kidnappers. So Nigeria has lost it. The same thing in the north. If you are not, this is the major reason I don't show my face. I go to Nigeria, I hang with big boys, and I don't want to be kidnapped, because if they carry me, the British embassy will just say, we don't negotiate with terrorists. All of you will have to start donating £100, £50. And
Go fund me.
Go fund me.
Before the money reach, go tell.
I can understand where they're coming from, because I've argued this, I've contested it before. But when I went to Nigeria and saw things, and saw the people that were killed, saw people from abroad that came home, they raped the mom in front of the kids and the husband, you know, and they were still telling the people, if you don't send money, we go kill him. We go kill him now. And they were firing. Pop. So you can't go to Nigeria now and say you're going to Kaduna or Benin by road. I'll tell you, oh, get one police or two, because I want to see you on this program again. So that's the society. And the moment they know you're a celeb, you're hot cake, when they carry you, your record label will pay money now. So that is why they're using escort. But here, this is a sane society. This is a civilized society. Nobody kidnaps nobody. I can walk from my house from O2 to New Cross at 2 a.m. Nothing will happen to me, you know. But it's not the same in Nigeria. That's why they use escort. You know, that's why they use escort.
Thank you for that, Jagwajantis. Talia, escorts.
This is the corruption that we're talking about, though, is the fact that Nigeria is so corrupt. As in the corruption. Listen, it's even embarrassing sometimes to say that you're a Nigerian, honestly, because I feel the same, because somehow I don't even want to say it, but obviously just looking at me gone, they know that, okay, I'm a Nigeria babe, you know. It's so embarrassing, the stigma we carry along. It's down to the same corruption. At the end of the day, these mobile police or the police officers that are going to be carried, these people are going to be paid, and they're going to be paid handsomely. In fact, the IG or the Inspector General that released them is going to be paid. and this doesn't go into the police, the whole police
Mm.
pocket though. It goes into the Inspector General's pocket, and then the boys are going to be settled as well. It's the same corruption. Corruption is not only, it starts from the top, but it goes down to a newborn baby safe who siphon a phone from your hand in Nigeria. That's how, God forgive me, but that's how bad Nigeria, as in, it's really, really bad. That's how bad we are in Nigeria. You cannot trust, and Mr. Jamadansis is right, because I don't feel safe when I'm in Nigeria. I have to make sure that I stay in good hotels, yeah, and pay through my eyes because of security. Because I don't want anybody to kidnap me. My people don't have money to pay, so they will just kill me.
We will do GoFundMe, don't worry.
You know what I mean? Like, you have to, when you go to Nigeria, you have to be staying in all these top places. Why? Because if you don't stay where they have one armed man at the gates, yeah, they will come and kidnap you for nothing. And that's the end of your life. So it's down to all this corruption. I think
I forgot to say something.
it's only God that can. I don't even know what can actually change, but something has to change. I think it's about time that we sit down on a round table. And this conversation is not even going to involve me, but there are people that I know that have to sit down and actually try and fix this, because we are Uncle Jude, help me. What's the word? We are rehabilitable. We can be rehabilitated. That's
Okay.
the word.
That's the word. I got you
You know,
down.
we can. So,
Sorry, guys, but those police officers who are seen following the artists, they pay for their uniform. That's another big problem. Yes, they pay for their gears.
The uniform that they wear to
Yes, to go and collect service bullets magazine, they pay. Now, this is a government that is supposed to provide this for the police, but I only get my kits only when I work for big guys. They give me money. From that money, I can feed my family, pay the people in the barracks. They give me my kits, boots.
Okay.
They pay for it.
Wow.
It shocks you, right? They pay
It
for
shocks
it.
me, actually. So
Imagine British police paying for their uniform and boots and everything.
So thank you for that, Jabadanti. Jude, Celia, in closing, do you now blame them for actually having to work for big men, or when myself, Celia, Talia, Jude, everyone needs to go to Nigeria to pay a police officer like 5,000 naira to go to Benin and 10,000 to come back?
5,000.
It's
No,
more.
it's more.
It's more than that, so they definitely.
For argument's sake. So whatever we pay is not even up to 200 pounds.
No.
Yes. So for argument's sake, 200 pounds. Jude, Celia, they just say these guys have to pay for uniform. They have to pay for service bullet. Do you see that the problem that we have is not SARS now? If someone has to pay for their own uniform to do the work that you've employed them to do?
I mean, I don't even understand how they need to pay for their uniform and service bullet. They're civil servants, for God's sake. They're civil servants. The government should be providing that for them. The service bullet. So I don't understand. Did they pay for the gun too? Like, if they're paying for the bullets, which means they can shoot however they want, because it's their bullets. They bought it. They've just sold them bullets. I mean, at the end of the day, of course, they're going to want to work for celebrities and be escorts for celebrities, because the celebrities at the end of the night will give them 50K, 100K, and that's more than they will get in a month. So why wouldn't they do it?
Why wouldn't
they do it? Okay, so why wouldn't they do it? At the end of the day, I can't blame them at all. I can't blame them. And at the end of the day, yes, with Jagbajantis, what you said, yes, the celebrities need to protect themselves. They need to protect themselves. And it's unfortunate that the Nigerian government has made it very easy for any of us to walk into the police station and say, I need police officers to protect me. If that was not the case, would the celebrities be doing that? No. If that was the case, then because there's security, so they wouldn't need to worry about protecting themselves. So at the end of the day, Enyo Siemi is something that costs something. So because they know that there's no protection, so they need to protect themselves. So they walk into a police station with their connection and they ask for police officers and they settle the IG and they settle the police officers. And yes, the police officer will take the money. So because the system, as I said, is a hierarchy of nonsense. The system is already corrupt. So the corruption will go down below. And if all these police officers are going to chop from it, then why not? So that's how I see it.
Dude, in closing,
That's so
we are
sad.
with the lack of better word, we are the architect of our own misfortune. Yes,
I've said it.
we are paying for uniform,
I've said it.
service bullets. As Celia said it, I can shoot if I pay for anything.
I'm a bullet.
It's like killing a dog. I'll
Yeah.
just off you.
I'm a bullet.
I've said
Sorry,
it.
Jude, before you even start, let me just, because I know I watch a lot of films, we all do, and we know that in this country or in America, wherever, when they give you bullets for then no. When the police officers go to the station to collect bullets for their duty, they know the number on the bullets they get to you. They know how many bullets they get to you. So if at the end of your shift you are not returning the same or any bullet is dispersed, they will know which police officer they assigned that bullet to. So it's obvious that Nigeria is not like that. They've turned their gun to popo that you just shoot up and down the whole place.
Before Jude comes in, we have a problem with influx of guns, bullets from everywhere. So I'm not sure the Nigerian police have got a catalog
Of course not.
cartridges that they have. I think so. Jude, in closing, police officers have to pay for their own gear.
Yeah.
I think it's not just about them paying for their own gear. These are fundamental issues here we need to deal with. The act of governance, we don't have a clue about it. Accountability is zero.
Yeah.
And inherently, we have oppressive behaviors. This whole celebrities carrying security guards here and there or police didn't just start today. I'm up for it. But there's need for a structure of accountability where either the resources come straight to the police budget and the government need no longer give the budget to the police. Again, the police here, if you want police here, you can have police escort, but you pay through your nose.
Mm-hmm.
I've contacted them before because we wanted to do a project. And when they told us, I was like, oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
They said, look, we serve everybody. So do your thing, we'll still serve you. But when you want us contracted to be at your venue, boy, when they told me how much it was to even get the St. John's ambulance, we were confused and we said, you know what, we're not doing this on the street anymore. We're going to do it by the Thames barrier, the Thames Park. So we'll be out of the public way. So what I'm trying to talk about here is oppressive behaviors, man. Look, I grew up in Nigeria. I know how people behave. I know how our Nigerians here behave. It's a thing of pleasure for them. Boy, when I go out, I carry soldier, man, carry police, they whip that guy. It is inherent in Nigerians. We need to check that. That oppressive behavior, the oppressive attitudes, the accountability is not there. Act of governance, we don't know. If the policeman who's buying uniform know that he's not supposed to buy uniform, he go check something now. He go stand with the next guy they protest for street. He himself doesn't have a clue. To him, it is normal. I need to buy my uniform because I get extra from Davido. How can a police officer be following musicians who are right there smoking weed? Is it not illegal to smoke weed in Nigeria?
They even smoke the weed with themselves.
So you see, they smoke the cocaine with them. They take drugs. A police officer in uniform, there are like 7 of them sat around the beer parlor drinking heavily in uniform. I'm a social worker. When I go work, 2 days before I go work, I don't even touch alcohol anymore. You are a police officer with guns, and you are seen drinking, wearing your uniform. So there's no accountability everywhere. It's not just the government. It's every fiber of our society. Every Nigerian, like Taylor rightly said, the small baby born today will rob you blindly. Nigeria is inherently corrupt. Nigeria is inherently oppressive. Nigerians don't have accountability. They are unruly. They don't even know the act of governance. Trust me, we're like babies. You keep feeding me with milk. Trust me, it's the whole facet of the whole fabric of our life. That's why I said there's need for bloodletting.
Okay.
Cutting Nigeria into 2 will not solve the problem.
Okay.
There's need for bloodletting properly.
I think we'll leave it at it is now because I think we've thoroughly trashed this. If we sit here, we probably would stop for another 60 years because there's so many areas of the country that is damaged. But I think as a platform, we've started the work and we will continue in this manner. So on behalf of everyone here today, our heart goes out to every Isiaka Jimo, every person that has been a victim of injustice in Nigeria. Our heart goes out to you. And as a platform, we will do the best that we can within our resources to continue to make Nigeria government accountable
Yes.
to each citizen. So we're going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining us on this show. When this premieres, every member of this platform, everyone here will be with our little community. It's a community of fun. And everybody comes with their breakfast at 9:30 on Saturday, and we're there bouncing and looking out for each other. So myself, Celia, Talia, Jude, and Jabajantis will be within the chat room when we premiere this live. So there's so many things that as a people we can use to move the it's not just NSAS because they say they've dissolved it. Well, come next week, NSAS might still be there because we've been trying to reform this since 2015. So until next week, is with heavy hearts that we say Nigeria is bleeding. We're hemorrhaging fast. And we need something done before this country collapses. You know, someone said, let's call on our Kolia masters to come back. I don't think we need them.
No.
But we need blood to run. And hopefully we won't have to lose a lot of lives for us to get our country back. Thank you so much for watching. All the best. And guys, thank you so much for trashing this with all of us.
Thank you. Bye.
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 Bye.